Hello, hello. Hey, welcome. Um, Axel from Get English. Welcome to today's stream. We are going to do a crossword this morning. The crossword that is currently on my screen. We're gonna go through this together and try to figure out the answers together. And we should be able to review lots of language and vocabulary and knowledge of English and all sorts of fun stuff along the way. So, yeah, so grab a coffee, get something to drink. I'm going to explain how this works. So, if you've already heard this, you already know how it goes. Feel free to get a drink, come back in a couple of minutes. But yeah, I'm going to let everybody know how this works, and then we will get working on this crossword. All right. So like I said, we are going to work to do this crossword together. I'm going to direct the conversation, so I am going to guide us through this. I will determine which questions we're working on when, and I'm going to give us alternative clues, hints, sometimes definitions, little images and things like that to hopefully help us all arrive at the answer together. And you will be able to participate by putting your answers into the chat. So I'm going to be looking to the chats to help. I have Twitch up, Facebook is up, and YouTube is up as well. So you can comment on any of those three places, and I'll be able to put in the answers as I see people put them out. So yeah, I do have a couple of rules though about how this is going to work. So the first rule is no cheating, okay? So I don't want anybody using the internet. Sorry, I'm fixing this for a second. I don't want anybody using the internet unless I tell you, okay? So sure, we could go online, we could probably Google a lot of these answers and quickly finish this crossword. There are even websites dedicated to having the answers to these kind of crosswords. But we're not going to do that. We are going to use our heads instead. We are all intelligent people, and I think that we will be able to figure it out without the internet. So no cheating, no using the internet unless I tell you. Also, that said, don't go ruining it for others. So don't rush ahead and start throwing out answers to questions we haven't discussed yet. This activity is intended for people who are learning English as a second language. So if you happen to be here and you are a native English speaker as well, and you know the answers, please be patient. Don't just go out throwing out answers and things like that. We may also have some conversation around the answers and stuff as well anyways to review some vocabulary. So no ruining it for others. And also please be nice to one another in the chat. So please be kind. No fighting, no arguments, nothing like that. Please be nice to me as well. I know sometimes I make mistakes and things like that. We are all human. But yeah, let's just try to be nice to one another and make an enjoyable experience for everyone. All right. Okay. Perfect. And then there are some important things to know specifically about this crossword. Okay. So this crossword we are doing is mostly about language. So fortunately, we won't need a lot of knowledge about trivia and pop culture and things like that. I know some crosswords rely a lot on that. This one does not. The majority of these clues will be, or the majority of these questions will be about words and language and things like that. So it's going to be great for us to review English that way. Also, it's important to keep in mind that this is an American crossword. So that said, American spelling will be used. So for example, words like color will be spelled C-O-L-O-R, okay? Whereas in British English, for example, it would have been spelled C-O-L-O-U-R, okay? So it's going to be spelled that way in American English. Also, words like realize are spelt with a Z at the end instead of an S in British English. Also, words like center are spelt with ER at the end instead of RE. Okay, so that's really important to keep in mind. And also, too, if there is trivia, questions about geography, questions about history, a lot of it is about American geography, American history, but we are going to focus on the language. That is our objective here. So hopefully it won't create too many problems for us. All right. Another really important thing to keep in mind that I find extremely helpful to know when doing this crossword is that usually the answers are the same form of the word that's in the clue. So for example, if there is a plural noun in the clue, the answer is also going to be a plural noun. If it's an adjective, it's going to be an adjective in the answer. If the question is a past tense of a verb, the answer is going to be the past tense of a verb. So all of that is consistent, and that is really helpful. Or at least for me, it seems really helpful. And also some answers will be short phrases. So some crosswords only want one answer or one word, or it'll indicate when answers are multiple words. This one does not. However, some of them will be short phrases or phrasal verbs, for example, or short little sayings. So multiple words are possible in the answers. There is no indication when it requires a multiple word, but hopefully I will help us figure that out. So we can get the answers together. And also, just because this is a crossword, it's important to keep in mind that some of the vocabulary that comes up in here will be useless to you, and they won't be words that you will want to use when speaking English. Even as a native speaker, there are plenty of words that I use only in crosswords or other similar word games like Scrabble and things like that, right? So otherwise I would never really use them. They're not really part of my vocabulary. So I will try to point out if something is completely useless or if something is extremely rare. I will try to let you know. But regardless of that, this still is a really great opportunity to review lots of useful language for us and things like that. Yeah. All right. So let's just get to it. I did look at this briefly. Also, if you are on this website, because I know I shared this link the other day to somebody, this is Friday's crossword. There are no crosswords in the newspaper on Sunday because we don't get a newspaper on Sunday. So this is actually Fridays. So if you are playing along on the website, this is actually, November 22nd's crossword, because I didn't do a stream then. All right, so let's look at the very first question here. So number 1, we have floor covers, and we want the word speedy, a word that means speedy. So floor, we're referring to sort of like the plane that you walk on in a house, for example, right? Not to be confused with the ground when we're outside. So the floor when you were outside, because sometimes I hear people referring to the ground outside as the floor, but the floor typically is in a building. So we want some sort of covering for a floor. So there are a couple different things, obviously. Lots of different types of flooring. Flooring would be the word that we would use to refer to those coverings, right? So if you have a floor that is not covered, maybe it is only wood, you might have, hardwood floors, for example, right? Or maybe also like tile floors or linoleum. kind of like this plasticky color, and I think I spelled that right. I'm gonna get a picture of linoleum. But we're looking for a 3-letter word as something that would cover a floor. Here's kind of a picture of linoleum. See how they're kind of like putting this plastic vinyl, I think vinyl, the sheet down. That's linoleum. So similar to carpet. I think we're looking for a word that's similar to carpet. Which is sort of like a covering that sort of has like a fabric-y texture. But we're looking for a very short word, and I see it on YouTube. See the word on YouTube. Let's see if we get it anywhere else. A 3-letter word. It's typically something that you might use to cover a small area. Smaller area. I'm gonna get a picture. I think this word is rug. Okay. Yeah, so I think this word is rug. There is another word that would fit here as well. A mat would also fit as well, which is sort of a smaller rug. Although a mat can also be made out of different materials as well, like rubber and stuff like that. But it would be common, to have like a little mat in your bathroom, or by the door, for example. Here's like a little doormat, for example. But I think it is rug, because we need a word that means speedy. So, and I think this is gonna start. What is the tile floor? So the tile floor, yeah. I'm gonna get a picture of tile. So tile are there's sort of these flat squares that are usually made out of some sort of really hard material, like porcelain or marble, for example. Slate, like types of stone. And then you could put them on the, you could put them on the floor, for example. I had to get a picture of a tile floor here. But you could also put them on the walls as well. So it is really common for people to have this is a tile, we would call this a backsplash in the kitchen. A tile backsplash in the kitchen there. Or also in the bathroom as well. So all around like in the shower and all around the different fixtures, all of that is tile. There you go. Here's a bathroom with a bunch of tiles. Okay, perfect. So we have speedy. So we're looking for a synonym that means speedy. So it has to do with speed, right? Something that is speedy. Speed has to do with how fast something goes, right? So we probably want a synonym for quickly, right? Or quick, I would think, or fast, maybe. I think we have like a 5-letter word here too. How many, like, we can, a bunch of them. So maybe, so you would be in a rush. a rush, we would say that. Rushly, we wouldn't really use that as an adjective. Oh, we might say that something is rushed, maybe. So that could be something, yeah, as an adjective. This is too long though, but it's a good one. Yeah, I see it on YouTube. See if anybody else gets it. Swift is another great adjective too. But yeah, I think this is rapid. This is rapid. I agree. Good. All right. Let's see. A hoppy pinch. Hearts of hearts. Perfect place. Down. Okay. Let's do this one first, maybe. Is it a plop down? Plop down. Kind of an action you would do with your body. And it kind of means to sort of put your body onto something else. I'm gonna put this in a sentence, maybe, and maybe that will help us figure out what this word is going to be, because I don't know if this is super. If we know what plop down means, but for example, here's a good sentence with this word. So he got home from work and he plopped down on the couch because he was tired. Maybe. They plopped down on the couch. You plopped down on something. Any ideas what that might mean? Yeah, so I see it on YouTube. See it on YouTube. Anywhere else? I think we're still quiet everywhere else, which is fine. Okay, yes, so this is gonna be sit. I agree. This one's gonna be sit. Another way to say plop down. And the prepositions are the same. So you plop down on something, sit on something. Ah, so perfect. Let's see here. This one's gonna be tricky. Guess maybe all of these are gonna be. Perfect place. A perfect place starts with a U. This might be a new word, or maybe a word that you've read, but it's not super common. So we're looking for the name, so a noun of a place that would be considered ideal. And it's kind of a name that we would use often to describe a sort of a perfect or an ideal society. I'm actually going to get the definition here. Perfect society in which people work well and are happy with one another. This kind of like this word that we might use. Yeah, so I see it on YouTube. See it on YouTube. Yeah, place where everybody would be happy. Yeah, this is gonna be utopia, pretty sure. Utopia is a perfect ideal society here. All right, great job. So hobby pint. So a pint is a unit of measurement, but a unit of measurement that we usually use for beer. Usually. So, and if something is hoppy, so the hops are one of the key ingredients to beer. So what are the key ingredients in beer? Kind of, I think they're kind of responsible for the brewing, the fermentation process and things like that. And they have a very strong, sort of really distinct taste. So we're basically looking for the name of a type of beer. And I'll give you a kind of a hint too. It's just kind of like an acronym. We can see like the IP here, and there's one more. Yeah, so I wonder, I'm not a huge beer drinker, but other types of beer could be like a lager. Example. They're sort of like really deep beer. Yeah. Let's see. There's like lagers, and there's, gosh, I don't know. I don't drink a lot of beers. There's like stouts, for example. That's like a stout, another type of beer. There's like Pilsner. All right. Oh yeah, I did Pilsners. Yeah, this is gonna be an IPA. So an IPA is a type of beer. I don't know if they're a super. Oh, that's funny. I don't know if there's like a super famous beer. It's kind of a lighter beer. Anyways, yeah. So that's the type of beer. IPA. I don't know what IPA stands for, but that's a type of beer. Unanimous. Okay, I think we might be able to get this one. So unanimously. So if something is unanimous, everybody agrees. Right? So everybody's on the same page about something. So everyone is on the same page about some great little collocation there. Or idiom. So I think here we are actually looking for 2-word answer. There's 2 words in this answer. So we have an A here. There's gotta be a word or 1 letter. Dun, 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 dun. I wonder if we can get this. Looking for 2-word answer that we might use if everybody agreed, and if everybody did something together, maybe. Oh, yeah, you wouldn't act as individuals, right? But you would act like a single entity, maybe. Guesses what this might be. I might get this. I'll give you another hint too. This word is actually a number. This is a number. Any ideas? It's like a little phrase. I'll give another little hint too as well. This first word is kind of like a synonym for like. It's kind of a synonym. Kind of, I say kind of, because they're not always, these 2 words are not always interchangeable. And sometimes I hear people using them incorrectly. Yeah, so we're super close. Well, not at once. So at once, that's gonna be about time, right? But we've got something more like an adjective here. So we're kind of close though. We have ones here. This is one. So one, like, you know, doing it all together, sort of as one person. Yeah, there we go. As one. Great. Awesome. Yeah, so we do something as one, where you act together as one. You do, you know, you work together and you do it together. You work unanimous. All right, perfect. Awesome. Great job. So it's indecisive. Not sure, but somebody indecisive has a really hard time making a decision. We might see the word decisive. You can kind of see the word decide in here. Here. They're kind of related. So somebody indecisive here, that means that they are not decisive. They are not good at making decisions. But I'm not quite sure what that is yet. So let's go. Let's do this, actually. This is a long word, but I think that we will know it. So usually I like to avoid doing the long words first, but I think we can do this. So mailing costs. So if you mail something, right? We're talking about sending something through the post, with the post office or whatever, right? Right? So, you know, maybe a parcel, for example, which will be sort of like another way to say those packages. A parcel or a package, for example. We can see some parcels or some packages. Or also letters as well, right? You could send some letters. And there's a specific word that we would use because you have to pay money, right? Like you can't just go to the post office, give them your box, and tell them to send it on along the way. Like they won't do anything with it unless you give them money, right? So there is so we're looking for the name basically of you know, the money you pay to send a package, basically. You know? So maybe it's, you know, the stamps or whatever like that. I don't know a lot of people who stamps these days or whatever. Word for it. Basically, we're like, yes, sum of money needed for sending letters or parcels. Money you pay for sending letters and parcels. Oh. The idea is, yeah, Buddy. So I see Buddy on Facebook. A little longer. A little longer than that. What do we have? 1, 2. I will give you a hint. It starts with a letter P. Starts with a letter P. Starts from a letter P, and it's kind of like derived from one of the words that I just a million times, I think. Description. So it's not gonna be a penny. So a penny is a specific type of money. It's a coin, right? So penny is a coin. And we want money that you'd pay specifically for letters or parcels. So maybe stamps would fall underneath that. But these days, I mean, it's kind of common just to take your parcel to the post office. They will weigh it, and then they will print a little slip, and they will tell you how much you have to pay to send it. And that you would pay that money, and then that would fall under this word, whatever this word is. It ends in an AGE. I would put that in there. So, post coin. We're getting closer. Maybe post coin. Super close though. We're getting closer. Okay, this is gonna be postage. Postage. Postage is the name for that money that you pay specifically to send a letter. So you would go and you would pay postage. Or they may talk about postage costs getting more and more expensive to send packages and that. Yeah. Alright, perfect. Alright. Let's see, what else? What else do we got here? I'm just gonna put this in here. A mine is a place where they would dig usually for minerals and things like that, right? Okay. Oh, that's a new word. Okay, that's a very useful word. Yeah, that's a good one to know. Especially if you have to mail anything in an English speaking country for sure. See here. Get a picture of a mine. Like a mine. And they would make the tunnels and they would go down and they would dig up resources. Anyways, this mine rock. This rock is ore. So ore is the word that we would use to describe those minerals and rocks and things before they are kind of I guess processed or whatever they do to polish them up and fix them up for selling or refinement or whatever. Is it called the other packages as well? So this box here, anything in a box can be called a parcel or a package. A package or a parcel can also be like wrapped in paper as well. Basically, the biggest difference between a parcel or a package and a letter is the size. So here's another parcel. You can see this one is wrapped in paper. But you can see that they're thick, right? Whereas a letter is always just going to be flat. So that's kind of the difference. The letters are flat, and they come in you put them in an envelope. You put them in an envelope or an envelope, depending on say envelope. People say envelope. Here's a letter. Yeah. And yeah, you pay for the stamp, for example, postage. Okay. See here. So 4 is edge. Let's do this one. I think we should be able to do this one pretty quickly. So, luggage. Luggage are things that you take with you when you travel, right? Right? So if you're traveling, obviously you don't take all of your, you don't just take your clothes and carry them on the plane with you without putting them in something, right? You always put your stuff in something, right? Um, so for example, maybe like a suitcase, right? Would be one type of luggage that you would use. You put all your clothes in a suitcase. But we can see that suitcase is too long. So we're looking for a shorter word. Here's a suitcase. And another hint here too is luggage is an uncountable noun, right? So this can be a plural. And I see it on Facebook. Not on Facebook, sorry. I see it on YouTube. I think this is going to be, it's going to end in an S. So it's not going to be case, like, oh, well, maybe. Like, well, suitcase. Suitcase for sure. Anyways, yeah. So suitcase for sure. Or luggage for all of them. Yeah, this word's going to be bags. So bags, just like another way to refer to suitcase, pack your bags, you might say, right? Just basically like another way to say, get your luggage ready, right? That sort of thing. Yeah. So, pack your bags and get out. Okay, let's see here. Argon, metal. Let's do this one, maybe. So entice, so we know that there's like an S here. We're looking for a verb. You entice. Okay. We're gonna talk about a similar word first. So something enticing is something that's really attractive. And it may seem really appealing, like there's lots of advantages, or might be really nice in some way. So for example, we might describe a job offer as being enticing, right? So it would have all of these benefits and things like that that would make you want to take that job, right? So yeah, so keeping that in mind, so we're kind of looking for a verb that we would use that means like that makes you want to do something or get something. It kind of like pulls you, makes you want to go towards it. And I see it in YouTube, on YouTube. I have it on YouTube. Yeah, so a verb for basically feel like you're pulled towards something because it's kind of attractive or like that. Yeah, this word is lure. Lures. So if something lures you, it like pulls you. Like there's some sort of quality or something that makes you that attracts you to it. So yeah. So lures is here. And now let's see if we can get this one. So total happiness. We can see that there's a BL something, S something. So we're looking for a word. This is a noun. So we're looking for a noun for sort of that feeling of total contentment and happiness, maybe peace or something. I see it on YouTube. Trying to think if there are others. Total happiness. Paradise, maybe. Joy. Yeah, so this is bliss, exactly. Bliss is that state of total happiness. When everything is perfect, everything is ideal. It's this overwhelming feeling like you're so happy. Alright. I just gonna put this in here, this one, M or B. These are, I think these are supposed to be aunts, sort of common names for aunts. Your aunt would be like your mother or your father's. That's who your aunt is. Let's see here. So Northwest Territories body. Geography. Let's talk about toes. Toes. So toes are a part of the body. So toes are part of the body. Let me know if you know where the toes are. While I get a picture. We're all on the same page. They're sort of on the lower half of the body. Lower half of the body. On your feet. Yeah. Kind of like at the end of your legs, right? So these are toes, right? And we're looking for a count. So if you were to count toes, you would arrive, usually, I shouldn't say always, but usually you would arrive at a specific number. So we are looking for a number here. Basically, we're looking for the number of toes. Looking for the number of toes we have. Any ideas? We're going to count your toes. So it's not going to be 2. We have 2 legs. But this here, we want the number of toes. Counting the number of toes. It's not going to be 2, but it's just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 toes. We have 10 toes. 10 fingers and 10 toes. Okay. Toes. Let's see here. Ew. This is... I know what this is, but I don't know if we are going to get together. So argon is a metal. Is it a metal? It's an element. It's like a chemistry element. And I have people who are chemists in my life, and they will be really ashamed. My definition of what it is. But it's on like the table of elements and things like that. So argon is a type of element, like chemistry element. And There's kind of, is it a gas? Maybe it's a gas. But there's kind of like a word that we would use. It's a very slow gas. It doesn't move very, very quickly. Okay? The slow gas. And it doesn't move very quickly. Wait, all fingers on leg are called toes. I thought this was... Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So these are fingers, right? So we have fingers on our hands. And then, yeah, the fingers on the legs, the fingers on the bottom, like on the feet, are toes. So those are toes. Yeah. Yeah. And, so we don't really have... Maybe you're thinking that, like, the big toes are just toes. All of these are called toes. And we don't really have specific names for them. If we would just, you know, like there's the big toe, which would be like maybe this one, you know, middle toe. We have the pinky toe, which is the smallest toe. And those are really the only toes that I can think have specific names. Yeah. Yeah, okay, the big ones. Okay, yeah, I see where you were coming from. Okay, yeah. Yeah. The fingers have more names. Let me get a picture of a hand here. The fingers have more specific names. Actually, we can even... This one has them all labeled. So we have the thumb, our index finger, or people might call it the pointer, your pointer finger, or your pointing finger. So that's that one. Then we have the middle finger, the ring finger, where traditionally maybe the wedding ring would go. And then we have the little finger, or your pinky again. Is that right? Yeah. Yes. Finger. Pinky finger. Yes. Pinky finger or pinky toe. Okay. Yeah. So that's what we would call those. This is a better conversation than the one about the gas. Yeah, so we're looking for a word, basically. A word to describe something really, really slow. We can see it. I-N. This probably will be a new word for us. You know, something might be sluggish. I feel like that's even a better word. Sluggish. A good word. Almost like another synonym for this too might be like dead, like there's no life whatsoever, or maybe dormant or inactive. Probably gonna be a new word. Dormant, something sleepy. Inept. So it's not going to be inept. Inept is a good guess though. Needs something a little bit different. We could talk about it. This one is going to be inert. That's probably a new word for a lot of us. But inert, argon is a inert gas. Is very, very slowly, I guess, apparently. Specifically, apparently, it's lacking a usual or anticipated chemical or biological action. So that is the official definition for inert. I don't know. Yeah, it's something kind of inactive. Something inert doesn't move or anything like that. And something inept. I would use inept to describe a person usually. So and it's not a positive description at all. It basically means that, like, if you are inept at something, it means you are not skilled, you are not good at it. So, here's a example, maybe in a sentence here. So he was criticized for his inept handling of the situation. So he did terribly. Yeah, I would so I wouldn't use inert to refer to a person. You would use inert more to describe objects or something like that. It's not a very common word. See if I yeah, it's usually not really used to describe people, but it describes something that doesn't move. So maybe just like an object or something. Like, you know, coffee cups are inert and I don't know, tables are inert. But it's kind of funny it's like kind of a little weird to describe them as that. It's like technically they're inert, but I wouldn't necessarily, like, if I was describing the qualities of a table, I probably wouldn't say that it's inert. But that's what it means though. Yeah, something that doesn't really move, doesn't no life in it. Not a very common word. Yeah, I'm just looking here to see if there are more useful uses of that word. Really see thing. Yeah. You might use like inertly like as a descriptive word, maybe. But even that, like, I wouldn't do that. Here's an example. Sank inertly into the armchair, so she had no life. Yeah, in chemistry, it's used way more often in chemistry and in science and things like that. They'll talk about inert gases and things like that. Or yeah, so it's a chemistry word. Yeah. So not very useful for us non-chemists. Okay. Let's see here. So, what? Oh, maybe. Okay. I think this is going to be a 2-letter word. So we are kind of looking for. I think we're looking for. Is this an adjective? It's adverb. Adverb. Sorry, it's an adverb. We're looking for an adverb. We're looking for an adverbial, like a little adverbial phrase, actually, because I think this is the answer to this is going to be 2 words. 2 words. So, little adverbial phrase here to say that something is, not a lot of something, but it's a little something, right? It's somewhat something. And this is an extremely common phrase. Very common to use this one. It's almost like the opposite of saying something is like a lot, maybe. Like the opposite. And I see it on YouTube. See if you get anywhere else. Yeah, it's gonna be a bitch. A bitch. Pretty sure. A bitch. Alright. I think this is a medical term. Like a medical device. Okay. Staff member. Diner dessert. Okay, let's talk about desserts. Desserts. And a diner. A diner is a place where you'd get something to eat. They're very common in the US because this is a US an American crossword. Oh, biggest bug? Oh no. Lately I've been having keyboard problems. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna show you a picture of a typical American diner. The inside. Actually, this one has like a 50s retro feel. But yeah, so it's a place that you get something to eat. Diner. And you would get kind of specific types of food here. So for example, like hamburgers. So hamburgers and I guess like spaghetti and meatballs and different kinds of American style food, chips or fries, like French fries, stuff like that. Yeah, and then there is pie. We're looking for dessert. Yeah, and I saw it in YouTube. Pie. I think pie is the answer. It'd be very common to have pie. Keyboard keeps acting up. Okay. All right. Yes, so that's gonna be a pie. Very common to get pie. At American diners. Okay. Let's see. Staff member. Air often. Now let's do this one maybe. So an heir. So an heir is an heir is someone who inherits the estate, money, houses, whatever, when somebody dies. Who inherits, so someone who inherits money and things like the estate when somebody dies. So that is what an heir is. So they inherit, they get the property, they get the money, they like legally receive it. And notice that pronunciation, it's just like heir, so that we don't, the H is silent. They inherit the money. And it's usually the children that would get the money, right? Children would get the money, usually, right? Potentially. And we're looking for one child in particular. So we're looking for the name of one child who might get the money. And it's a 3-letter word, right? So the noun, name, one child who would get the money. Probably well, maybe not just like the oldest, but there's sort of it's a gender thing here too. I don't know that. It's kind of a gender thing as well. So it's not gonna be kid. kid is a good guess, though. I mean, yes, a kid. That's very, like, sort of a slang way to refer to children for a child, right? I think it's more like, probably not the daughter, because daughter is too long, right? So daughter is too long. That doesn't fit. But what would be the other one? It's not gonna be the daughter. Oh, you're so close. Not gonna be a boy. We're super close. I think this is gonna be son. So the son is going to be the person. So boy, you know, boy does could refer to the son, right? But this is very slang, and also it kind of refers to a very young kid, right? Usually the same with like a girl, right? Refers to a very young child as well. It's all good. Sometimes you just draw a blank, right? Yeah. Yeah, so son and daughter would be the better way to refer to those people, especially because they're adults, right? They're probably adults. They're inheriting money, they're inheriting houses, things like that. So probably gonna be the son. Probably the oldest son. Yeah. Let's do this one. I know this is a weird word. A quaff. So a quaff? Quaff is something to drink. So a quaff is the name of something to drink. And we're looking for the name of a fizzy. Fizzy drink. The heck is a fizzy drink? Do you know what a fizzy drink is? It's a drink that has like the little bubbles in it. No, you'll have like water. Water doesn't have any bubbles in it, for example, or juice doesn't have bubbles in it. But sometimes they will add bubbles. Usually it's like a carbonated, you call it a carbonated beverage. And carbonated has those little bubbles in it. We're looking for a drink that has the name of a drink that has a bubble, like the bubbles in it. Here's some fizzy water. Water. We can see that starts with an S though. And I will give you a hint. Usually this is filled with tons of sugar. They're not healthy whatsoever. They're not healthy at all. They have lots of different flavors. Lots of different flavors. Filled with sugar and stuff. I don't drink these a lot. But they're very popular. Oh, I see it on Twitch. I see it on Twitch. We have it on Twitch. Nice. See if we can get it on YouTube. And there's some famous brands too. You know, there's like Coca-Cola, for example, and Pepsi, Mountain Dew, um ginger ale, all sorts of different ones. Okay, all right, no worries. This one's gonna be soda. So sodas are filled with carbonated stuff, like they're carbonated. So here are a bunch of different sodas, different brands of soda. So we call it, yeah, they're called these soda. Here in Canada, we would call these pop. Different brands pop. You like pop? So here we would say that. Yeah, soda is an American term. Exactly. And fizzy, like a fizzy drink, I think is like the British term. So yeah, this is an American crossword. So a lot of the words and things are American. Yeah. So over here, soda. Canada, we'd call it pop. So yeah, different words everywhere. Oh, let's see here. No wait, stir, touchdown, ew. We might be able to get this one. The recovery period. Okay. So if we're talking about if you recover from something, to recover basically in this context means to basically get better from something. You know, you'd need time to recover from an illness, right? Basically another way to say, you know, to get over or to heal from something. Okay. So we're looking for the name of a period, so name of a time when people would recover or heal from something. So this might be a little bit tricky. It's two words. So we have P-O something something, another word. This word also is an abbreviation for something. So let's see if we can kind of figure it out, maybe. So this first word, it's kind of like a suffix. Not a suffix, a prefix that we would use for something that refers to something that comes after something else. Prefix that means after, basically. So it's kind of like the opposite of pre, right? So pre means before, right? And then we have another one that means after. So I see it on Twitch. I got it on Twitch. See if we can get it anywhere else. Oh. A prefix that means after. Prefix that means after. So this is going to be post. What is the opposite of pre? So post. And then this part is, it's an abbreviation for a medical procedure. An abbreviation for a couple of, that's a good word. This one is an abbreviation. An abbreviation for a medical procedure. And this is a type of procedure that you would get done. Procedure that you would get done in a hospital. Okay. You know, they would, you would go, they might put you under anesthesia, for example, and they would work on your body. So we're looking for a medical word for a medical procedure like that you would go to the hospital for. So we're getting close. I see the words I see the word surgical there, or surgery, right? So we're really really close. So surgery is along the right lines. We're basically looking for a synonym for the word surgery. Have surgery. Yeah, do a surgery. Yeah. Surgery. Give us a hint. It starts with an. Oh, yeah. So I see the answer on Twitch. I see the answer on Twitch. See if we can get it on YouTube. The O there. It's gonna be post-op. Post-op, and that OP, that okay, no worries. This is short for operation. So short for operation. Great job there. Yeah. So if you hear about the post-op period after having some sort of operation or intervention, that refers to that recovery period that happens afterwards. What are you eating? I'm having coffee, but I'm running out of coffee. We can do this. What else? God. Yeah, we might be able to do this, maybe. Okay. Fabric workers. So we're gonna have an S here. So fabric, we're talking about like the stuff that clothing is made out of, or other textiles and things like that, right? So fabric, basically, textiles that clothing or other similar things are made out of, right? And we're kind of looking for people who would work on fabric. I kind of want you guys to just think about maybe like the verb here, like focus on the verb. So, you know, fabric would need to be wove, like you weave the fabric, right? You would need to cut the fabric. It gets sewn together, right? Um, there's another thing that they do to fabric to change the color, right? So usually the fabric doesn't, you know, it's usually not like black or red or blue or whatever like that. There's something that happens that they have to do to it in order to change the color, right? I think you're doing a great job, so you don't even have to worry about it. So this is this crossword I think is a little bit tricky today too. So yeah, this hasn't been an easy one. Oh, but yeah, we're looking for we're people who do a process to change the color. Yeah. So what would we do? What would we do to fabric to change the color? You know, you would have like the big vats of this stuff and you would put the fabric in. Gotta see if I can't get a picture of somebody doing this process, maybe. Here's kind of a person doing this. Sort of. You know, they've got like the bucket there, right? And they're putting the fabric in there to change the color. This they're kind of like looking for base or yeah. So I see it on YouTube. See the word on YouTube. Verb that we would use for this exactly perfect. See if we can get it anywhere else. That verb that we would use refer to changing color of fabric, or you could do this to your hair as well. You would also do a similar process to change the color of your hair. Super common. Another picture. Just looking at pictures. Here's some cool ones, actually. Person looks like. Now I see it on Twitch. Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna dye it. So I think this answer is gonna be dyers. So fabric workers. They're gonna dye it. Yes. The dyers, they'll change the color of the fabric. And let's do this one. Okay, so put down. To put something down. 3-letter word, right? Ends in a Y. If you put something down, you take it and you maybe place it on top of something else, maybe. You know, you would like, you know, if I have like, I have like this book and I could, you know, put something on it, maybe like that. See it on YouTube. See the verb on YouTube. See if we can get it anywhere else. This is a tricky crossword today. We've been doing this for a while. We are only a little bit through, which is kind of. We're gonna lay something. Yeah, I think this is lay. Exactly. So you lay something on top of something else, or you lay something down. Has a similar meaning. The sofa. Beach. Garden sections. Let's talk about gardening. Gardening. You guys garden? So when you have a garden, it might be common to divide the garden into different sections. And then there is a word that we would use to refer to those sections. I'm going to get a picture. I'm trying to find a picture. Those like the individual sections of a garden. So here there's a picture of like we have this backyard garden. Yeah, so I see it on Twitch. I see it on Facebook. I see it on YouTube. Exactly. Yeah, so each of these little sections, those each one is a bed. We would call it a bed. Perfect. Great job. Beds. Full part. Don't know what that is. I think we'll be able to do this one. You're on the sofa. So a sofa is another word for a couch, right? So a place where you would sit. All right. So if somebody is on the sofa, we're looking for an adjective. If somebody is on sofa, you know, they're not standing, right? It could be, I mean, they could be laying down, but they're probably not laying down. They're probably not laying down. There's something else. I see it on YouTube. See if we can get it anywhere. I'm gonna end it in ed. Adjective. Adjective. Derived from a verb. Get it. Yeah, this is gonna be seated. Exactly. So you're seated. Great. Righty. I think I'm just going to do this. The Northwest Territory body. So this is actually a Canadian geography question. So that's exciting, I guess. Some national pride. A body here. Sometimes we use the word body to refer to a body. It's like a body of water. That's what they mean here. So this is actually the name of a body of water that is located in the Northwest Territories. That is a sort of a region of Canada, way up north. I think this one is Great Bear Lake. I'll put it in there. Yeah, that. And I don't know if we're going to get this. I have a vault part and to make a speech. These are not very common. This isn't a common word. To make a speech. Oh, maybe we can get it. Does anybody know this one? another way to say or to make a speech. Or maybe we can guess what this is. So we have this word. Oh, talking about making a speech. We're talking about speaking in front of an audience. And this word is kind of related to, communication with the voice, right? So about the voice, something oral maybe. I see it on YouTube. Yeah, we got it on YouTube. See if anybody else can guess it anywhere. What this might be. What letter is missing here? These are related words. Now this is going to be orate. You orate, deliver a speech. There we go. Yeah, I see it on Twitch. Perfect. Yeah. Not a super common, like a super common word. Yeah, I don't even see it in the dictionary. I really only see this word used a lot in crosswords. But officially it means to talk as if you are giving a very important speech. You orate, yeah, you give a very, or at least you talk that way. Very loud. Yeah, orator. Orator is also probably a more common word, I would say. Somebody who delivers the speech, the orator. Yeah, so. And I think this is just an I. I'm just gonna put this here. I don't know what, like, a tightwad. A tightwad, I think, is somebody who is tight with money. I believe. Yeah, a tightwad, somebody who is not willing to spend money. A tightwad, somebody who's not willing to spend money, but I don't know this definition of piker. No piker, but in a different context. Okay. And I'm just gonna put a staff member. A staff member. So we're looking up for the name of maybe somebody who works at an office. Obviously you'd have the receptionist, for example, maybe. You'll have managers, right? Who else would work in an office? You'll have maybe like the temps, right? People who work there temporarily. I see the answer on Twitch. We got it on Twitch. Any guesses as to what this missing letter might be here? I see it on Twitch. Yeah, it's sort of a helper. This person is a helper. Kind of like an assistant. So A-I-D, I'm just missing a word. Or not a word, we're missing a letter. This is gonna be aid. Awesome. So an aid. Basically another word for an assistant. Yeah. Interesting how there's an E on here, because usually we know like aid as a verb, right? And the pronunciation is the same. To aid means to help, right? Yeah, this isn't like this aid as a noun is not super common. Verb's probably more common, but it's interesting that the noun form has this E at the end of it. But we can see that the pronunciation is completely the same. Anyways, English is such a curious language. Yeah, this is a lot more common, isn't it? Yeah. So aid, if it's a noun, has an E on it. Which is interesting. Let's talk about oboes. Oboes. So an oboe is a musical instrument. This might be a new word, possibly, for us. We're looking for the part of a oboe. I gotta get a picture of an oboe. This answer, this clue and this answer is a very common crossword. Crossword answer. So an oboe kind of looks like a flute, kind of looks like, or a clarinet. You blow into it. Got a lot of little keys and things like that. So you blow into it. And it's a specific type of instrument. We would call this it's part of the woodwinds family. It's a woodwind. And woodwinds are a family of instruments that you would blow into in order to make the noise. So like clarinets, oboes, flutes are woodwinds, piccolos, contrabass. Anyways, and there is a part that you blow into that's kind of key for creating the sound. It's like a little wooden piece. And oboes are interesting. Keyboard. Working. Uh-oh. Oh, maybe I'm crashing. Here. Okay. Sure. Okay. Okay. The program I was using to screen capture stuff from crashed. Okay. So there's this part that it's made of wood that you blow into, you put it in your mouth, you blow into, and then the vibration kind of is responsible for making the noise. And like saxophones also have the same thing. They have the little wooden bit. You guys know what I mean? You guys play any instruments? I've played saxophone. I've not played oboe. But yeah, there's a name for this little piece of wood that you blow into. And oboes are unique because they have there are two of these. I believe. Is that right? And it doesn't have any other like part of the mouthpiece. Anyways, this piece of wood, this little piece of wood is known as a reed. This is a reed. That little wooden bit. And I believe that oboes are a double reeded instrument, so they have two reeds, which make them particularly challenging to play. They squeak a lot because of it. Okay, anyways, yeah. So an oboe, they have two of those parts. They're kind of special. All right. Let's see if we can go through this. ties the web. Or, sorry, ties the knot. Let's do this really quickly. So to tie the knot. Kind of another way to say to get married. So to get married. And so we're looking for a verb that means to get married. You can see that it's like 3 letters here. Any idea? And the name of the ceremony, like the big party thing that happens at the church where they have the official ceremony, kind of derived from this word. I don't know if that helps at all. So I see it on Twitch. See it on Twitch. See if we get anywhere else. It's gonna be weds. Yeah. So wed means to get married. Awesome. Let's see. Like some tea. Yeah, I see it on YouTube. Exactly. Great job. Great job. Like some tea. Let's talk about tea. So obviously tea usually is served hot. So it's usually served hot, right? Take the little tea bag, pour hot water over it, give it some time to steep for a little bit, and then you would drink it. I do know what you mean. Sometimes I will do these crosswords and then I won't be able to think of seemingly very easy answers, and then I will go away and then I will come back to them and figure them out very quickly. So I know what you mean. It's tricky too because you guys are doing this in your in your second or third or fourth language, right? So, but you guys are doing a great job, amazing job. What was I gonna say? So tea is usually served hot, but there is something that they do in the summertime that makes it more appropriate for the summer, for the heat, right? So they do something for tea in the summer that makes it better for drinking in the heat. Yeah, they make it cold, for sure. So we are looking for an adjective. Well, I guess cold is an adjective. We're looking for an adjective to describe this cold tea, right? So to describe, you know, chilled tea or cooled tea, right? So it's gonna have an ed at the end of it here. See if you can guess what it is. Yeah, there's kind of a specific name too that they would call it. They would call it. Everybody knows it because they put these cubes in it, right? These cubes of frozen water on it. Picture. See it on YouTube. I see it on Twitch. Awesome. Exactly. Iced tea. So iced tea. Some teas will be iced. Great job. Let's see. Tricky. But it was. Oh, this one. Yeah. I see what you mean, yeah. This one I think is going to be trickier. This is not the answer to this is not a very common word. But we'll get to it. Let's do some easier ones first. Let's do this one, because we kind of had the conversation earlier. We were talking about flooring and bathrooms and different things. So a mosaic is kind of an art piece where you take little pieces of little stones or little rocks, similar to the ones we talked about before, and you place them all together in a decorative design, and you make an image with them. And the name for this came up in the conversation we had earlier about flooring. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I see it on YouTube. We learned this earlier. Yeah, so each of these little pieces called something. They're made out of stone, rock, or porcelain. Porcelain. See if we can get it anywhere else. Oh, porcelain. Yeah, these are tiles. So a mosaic piece is a tile. Each one of these is a tile. Place it all together and they, yeah. Add some stuff. What exactly is porcelain? It's kind of it's a very hard, I think it's a stone. It's like, it's made out of ceramic. I know that doesn't help. It's kind of like a type of clay that they heat at a very, very, very high temperature, and it causes this, like, the stone or the clay to harden, become extremely hard. And that it's very common to use porcelain to make these sort of like really fancy dishes and stuff like that. I don't know if that helps. But yeah, it's kind of common to use porcelain to make these really fine and nice plates. Also china is another variety. Yeah. I don't know exactly specifically what. See what the dictionary says. Here's the dictionary says it is a hard but delicate shiny white substance made by heating a special type of clay to a high temperature. Yeah, used to make cups, plates, decorations, things like that. So yeah. So it's kind of like one of those things. See what else? It's termites. Kin. So if something is akin to something else, it's related to something else. Usually they are part of the same family. So they are kind of closely related to one another. And a termite is a type of insect. And I'm going to get a picture of a termite we're gonna get a picture of a termite. So we want the name of an insect that is closely related to a termite. In fact, they look very similar. Here's a termite. See it on YouTube. See if we can get it anywhere else. I see it on Twitch, exactly. So ant is gonna be an ant. So an ant is akin to a termite, so closely related to a termite. All in the same family. Okay. Let's see. Flavorful. Okay, let's do this one. So flavorful, something flavorful. Like the opposite of disgusting and gross, right? Talking about food here, I think. Word. Describe when food is really good, right? See if we can get it. It would be an adjective. Opposite of gross. Gross, insipid. No. There it is, insipid. Flavorless. We want something that we would use to describe as something that's really, really, really good. Delicious, maybe. But that is too long. Okay. Enjoyable, maybe. Pleasant. And this word kind of is derived from the sense. So like this, like, you know how there's like, you have the sense of smell, for example, the sense of sight, sense of touch, right? Derived from that sense that you would use to enjoy or perceive food and like that helps. So yeah, so I see the sense of in Twitch. So we got that. Yeah, exactly. So the sense of taste, right? Okay. Yeah, so exactly. So it's going to be tasty. Something tasty is flavorful. So great job. Great job there. Yeah, something safe, tasty is flavorful. Lined up. Okay. Lined up. So if something is lined up, kind of like placed so everything is like one thing after another thing, right? And I think the answer to this one is I think the answer to this one is going to be 3 words. It's going to be a short phrase. So we have in. Yeah, we've been at this for a while. I am also getting tired. So I don't blame you. Yeah. We've been doing this for quite a while, but we were almost done. So we want a short phrase if something is lined up. If I can't. Like, all of these, you know, all these trees, for example, they are kind of placed, they are planted So they all line up, right? So we're so close, so we're like, so not quite like in raw, but in something. The R is right. We're super close. Anywhere. This is gonna be a row. These are lined up in a row. Yeah, now I see it. Exactly. In a row. Whew. H. Ah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, so super close. That's really great though. I think these are going to be new words. An oxen. So an ox is a type of animal. Ox is singular. Oxen is plural. And these are animals that are used to do farm work, basically. They're kind of like big cows. They are akin to cows, so they are related to cows. And there is this apparatus, this thing that they use to put them together, and then they would put the plow behind them. Anyways, this is probably going to be a new word for a lot of us, which is fine. This apparatus, this piece of equipment, is known as a yoke. So these guys are yoked. Apparatus. It's the name of the piece of equipment used to sort of put together a team of oxen, basically, and then they would use it to drag whatever behind it. Yeah, you can kind of see like guy using them to plow the land, so they are yoked together. Yeah, so that's like the name of that thing. This one here, this is also probably a new word for us. I don't know if we're gonna know this. Maybe though. So something prominent means it's very it sticks out, right? It's maybe very obvious or important. I think this is sort of a keyword. So something prominent, very important, sticks out, it's very noticeable. I don't know if we're gonna know this word. I'm gonna see if there's any collocation. Kind of means extremely important. Yeah, you might use this word to describe facts or features or points. I mean, that's really the only time. It means extremely noticeable, really important. Any ideas? funny, I know this word mostly, like, I'm more familiar with this word in another language, but then, so it seems more common in one of the other languages that I know. And then we have a related English word. So I don't know if that helps. If that helps at all. There's kind of like a Latin sort of a root word where it comes from. That helps. I think it's really important. Really notable. This word is salient. I'm just gonna do it. So a salient point or a salient fact. Yeah, I see it on Twitch. Yeah. So not a super, super, super common word. But yeah. Salient is extremely important. Here's a example sentence. So the article presented the salient facts of the dispute clearly and concisely. So really the most important facts. And if you do something concisely, it means that you get rid of all the extra stuff. You do it, say it in as least words as possible. So, basically the opposite of what I do. Anyway. I'm just gonna put this in here. So, Utah body. So, another word for a body of water. I think this is great. Keep it's on. Great. Salt. You might have heard of Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City, maybe. Great Salt Lake. A lake in Utah. All right. This here, gray polar. This is also the name of an animal. And a drag, this is not a common word, but I'm going to show you. It's basically a cart. So we want the name of an animal that pulls a cart. Okay, so name of an animal that pulls a cart. So here is a sort of the type of cart. This one is obviously being pulled by a team of horses. Okay, but we can see this. We're looking, but we want another animal. Name of an animal that would pull a cart. And we may know this word. There is a sort of another more common name for the animal. See if anybody can guess it. Like kind of like a horse, but it's a small horse. Kind of like a horse. Like this guy. I have a funny feeling that we're going to know a different name for this animal. And then they like to use the synonym, like the other name for this animal in crosswords, because it's convenient. Does anybody know what this animal is called? Is this a mule? Yes, that's one word for it. For sure. A mule. See here that it starts with an A. Any other? Give any other one? Or a donkey? I call them donkeys. And then another name for it is an ass. So, which is also a swear word in English. It's gonna be ass here. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-mm. These guys are poets. Burns and Frost. Burns and Frost. Poet. Hearts of Hearts. What this is. I'm sure. Feel like a little anatomy lesson for a second, because this is going to be probably going to be like sort of a... So in the heart we have a lot of different... Yeah, I kind of see it on Twitch. Yeah, you were thinking about the right thing. Yeah, we have these different parts of the heart, right? There's like the aorta, like sort of the biggest artery, right? The arteries that bring... What is it? Arteries bring blood to the heart, and then veins take it away. I don't remember which is which. You have like the valves, right? And then yeah, it's from Latin, exactly. We have this word atrium, right? Atrium. And we know that we want to have a plural here. So I think this is actually going to be atria. So atrium becomes atria, which is the plural here. Yeah, it's part of the heart. Also, we have a ventricle, pulmonary veins. Yeah, so lots of interesting things. And then I think this is aspen. Okay, let's try to do this one. Let's talk about radiators for a really quick second. Radiator, it's like a part of a car, I think. Well, it can also be in a house. But I think this is talking about a radiator, part of a car. Let's get a picture of a radiator. Or here's a radiator for the car. And I think we are looking for the name of this tube thing. Any ideas what we would call this, the tube here? Looking for the name of this tube that basically connects the radiator to other parts of the car. I am not a car person, so I don't know all the fancy words. So it's not going to be the nose, but that's kind of a good guess. But it's going to be this this tube. I'm going to show you another picture of another type of tube that might be that you might know. So, tube. So this thing also has the same name that you would use for, you know, garden. You would use for watering the garden, for example. This tube that would bring, you know, liquid from one place to another. Same here, like this brings like liquid or the coolant from one place to another. We want the name for this tube. Yes. I think we'll be done. I see it on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Yes. We can get it. Which name for the tube? super, super, super close. Yeah, this is gonna be hose. This is called a hose. This is the garden hose. And then this part here in the radiator, there is a radiator hose as well. So that's what that is. So let's see how we did. We did it. We got it all right. So that's great. Awesome job, guys. So yeah, so thanks so much for your help. That was really good. And thanks for sticking it out. This is kind of a hard one today, but oh, we managed to get it done. So great. Yeah, great job, everybody. Yeah. That was a long one. Anyways, the next stream will be Wednesday. Next stream will be Wednesday at 1300 UTC. So I'll be back then on Wednesday for another coffee and crossword stream. I am also streaming on Tuesday, I believe at 1600 UTC. And during that stream, I'm going to be looking at a part 3 task from the B2 first to the C1 advanced exam. And that is, the topic about that is going to be food. So that is related to, I'm discussing sustainability right now on social media. So that's going to be related to the series on sustainability. So you're welcome to join me for that. I'm going to be doing that mainly on Facebook. So you'll be able to interact and participate there, contribute to the notes. But yeah, that's all about food-related vocabulary and looking at a part 3 task from the speaking paper of the B2 first and the C1 advanced exam. And then I'll be doing another crossword on Wednesday at this time. So you're more than welcome to come back and help me. Anyways, I hope you all have a really fantastic day. And again, great job. This was not easy. This was a hard one today. So thank you again for sticking it out. Anyways, have a really fantastic rest of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Bring your friends. And I'll see you next time. Alright, bye everybody.